So with the builds I did, I can get SDL2 games working, and I ported a few of mine. Let me check if I can get the camera better. It's not that fast, but for my games from Playdate, these are Playdate games, it works. It takes a while to load the music. The music files are all WAV files. Allee. It's basically a puzzle game. It's a remake of the Daedalian Opus on the Game Boy, also known as Puzzle Road. So let me try another game. This one should be familiar. I ported it to Playdate and GP2X back in the day, but yeah, it was pre-delivered, the Neo Geo Pocket version, I think, on the Funkey. Now I have to remember. B. Since my games don't all run at 60 FPS, some run at 30, some at 15, some at 40, they are playable. So one more game. This is a checkers game. Yeah, it's loading. It's normal, it shows a white background while it's loading. So yeah. Let me check what else. That was checkers. This is not a Playdate game. That was some game I did way back. Also first for GP2X. And then ported it to Windows and so. It's basically a match 4 game. So you have to match 4 corners of a rectangle, and then the pieces inside will remove. And there is a mode for relative time and a mode for fixed time. The relative time will add extra time when you clear boxes, well, rectangles. One more. So the snacks. Waternet. I haven't tested this one yet. Okay, let me change the font. That's better. It's basically a puzzle game where you need to let water flow through all the pipes by rotating, shuffling the pipes, the existing pipes. There are 3 game modes, which are rotating mode, which is quite easy, I think. There is also another mode where you can move the pieces, slide the pieces, but it's very hard. So instead of rotating them, you can move them like this with the arrows on the side, and you also need to let water flow through them. And the last mode is a combination of the previous 2. So you can slide the pieces, but you can also rotate them. Well, let me show it some other way. So like this. So yeah. Then I still have more games. I didn't compile them all. So Dynamate, Retro Time I haven't shown. Yeah, Retro Time is the last one. Retro Time is a game I initially did for Fuse 4 for Nintendo Switch, which is an interpreter that runs on it. It's basically like you can create programs on the Switch games, and it's a retro game that contains multiple games inside one game, basically 8 retro games. So I'll quickly show them. Unfortunately, because most of the playdate games were already running in 240, a lot of games will be downscaled. I mean, for the binaries. In Vita, I mean, and letterboxed. Oh, this is really hard to see. Let me check on there. I can move faster. So yeah. I haven't shown something yet, but to prove it in a moment, the guitar playdate games. I'll show you the black and white versions in a moment. I basically added the system to my API reimplementation to load colored assets. So this is a Toady variant. It's hard to play. I still have a Pang, a snake, yeah, but that's normal. You should know. This is a Pang variant. They're quite playable, but that said, they don't target 60 FPS. I think this game targets 30 FPS. So yeah. Blockstacker is basically a Tetris game. The reasons they are black and white is because these games don't use assets, so like they don't use graphics, but they were drawn manually on the playdate screen. So that's why they are still black and white, because there was no way with the original source code to modify the colors. So yeah. And then there is color invasion. Normally the original game was in color, but I used patterns on the playdate. And basically you have to shoot the bars back to the beginning. And you have to, like this, and you have to remove all the bars. But they will come faster and faster in later levels. And it's quite hard to remove them all. Well, not in the beginning, the first levels. So yeah. And the final game, but it will be really hard to see, is a Fast Eddie remake, which are called Faster Dave. I think it's loading. Yeah. Now it's slowing down. But this is really hard. Basically, there are multiple levels. The enemies move sideways. You may not touch them, and you need to collect those little moving orbs, but they can also be static. And eventually the enemy at the top will become a smaller one, and then you can grab a key. So yeah, these were some of my SDL2 games.